Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online series 10 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we used a really fun team featuring Giratina Origin form, so we'll be playing a couple more matches with it today. If you haven't seen the last episode, would highly recommend it, as we got to feature just how strong Giratina can be, especially when you get the coaching stuff off with Zapdos. So yeah, thanks once again to Dragonair Jordan for the team, and let's get started. First game of the day, and it's a Sun team. Haven't seen Venusaur in forever, honestly. Indeedee male is pretty interesting. You would guess that's Dark Urshifu. Water Urshifu would be very unintuitive, given the fact that, it's a Sun team. And then Grimmsnarl. So it's probably the top 4 Pokemon. Honestly, Zapdos plus Giratina here seems kind of fun with Feeny and Incin. Mainly because Zapdos is pretty good offensively. It's got the Lumberry, so it doesn't have to worry about a Sleep Powder from Venusaur on turn 1. Giratina with Breaking Swipe in general is pretty valuable here, as Groudon, Charizard, Venu, none of those can do that much damage to us. So I think, my opponent's probably going to primarily play towards their Urshifu to beat the Giratina. So we'll see how things shake up. But thanks so much, as always, for watching Road to Rank. If you enjoyed, please share your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And you guys gave some really good answers to the question of the day yesterday, which was just, one obscure Pokemon fact, So today I want to know what's one obscure battling mechanic, let you know. The best one I can think of that I learned recently is that you can't Encore and Encore. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. Anyway, it's going to be Charizard plus Groudon for my opponent's end. Okay. Honestly, I kind of want to go for turn 1 coaching into Giratina. And then Breaking Swipe. I'm kind of down for that. I'm just nervous because, I'm not sure how, Charizard being max speed here would make a lot of sense, and I'm nervous it just outspeeds the Zapdos and one-shots it. So that's my primary concern right now. They are just going to get a Heat Wave off, okay. Nice, Zapdos survives. Okay, sick. Okay, so we start off with the coaching. That's great. That's not only going to help against dealing with Groudon, but also just increases our damage output. And we're faster than Groudon, which is very, very nice for us here. Breaking Swipe does almost 50 or over 50% to Charizard, which is fantastic. Okay, not bad. And they're just going to go for Heat Crush. Cool. I don't mind that trade turn 1. I mean, I get a lot of good damage on the board. They take Solar Power, so I would think they're in Shadow Sneak KO range now, honestly. So I'm down to go into Incineroar. I could go into Feeny as well. Feeny would give me a Nature's Madness. But they have Indeedee. Honestly, okay, no, Feeny's not a bad switch in right now, because the thing is, there are a couple of things that outspeed the Giratina in the back, like that Urshifu. So what I can do with Feeny is just Icy Wind right now. Groudon's at -1 attack, so it's not that scary at the moment. I guess the awkward thing is I do set up the Misty Terrain, so that decreases my damage output a little bit, but that's fine. I am down to Nature's actually, thinking of Icy Winding here, because I would think my opponent might want to consider switching out that Groudon. Oh, Nature's Madness this first turn, because 50% onto a switch-in is also really good, and just Shadow Sneak into Charizard right now. We do have to be important. It is important to conserve the Tapu Fini though for my opponent's late game Urshifu. With Urshifu, okay, they do switch out Charizard actually. Oh, okay. And that's Venusaur coming in. Okay, I don't mind that too much. It's a double switch. Okay. And that's Indeedee. Okay. That does set up the Psychic Terrain, so I can't Shadow Sneak the Venusaur now, unfortunately. I don't really see, my opponent didn't bring Urshifu, so I'm curious how they actually deal damage into the Giratina right now. I honestly think they are probably just going to launch a Sleep Powder our way right now, but, they just really lack damage. And since Giratina has Levitate, even if we switched Feeny out and back in, I wouldn't really have terrain control. So here I'm actually down to just Icy Wind and Breaking Swipe. Yeah, I'll let you put me to sleep right now, because you don't have offensive pressure with Indeedee, really. I mean, it does have Expanding Force, but that's not that scary. Oh, they just go for Sludge Bomb. Even better. Okay, cool. You're Life Orbed, okay. Expanding Force. But this is where having Assault Vest is really nice, because Feeny will survive this double up. Nice. Okay, so we get a Breaking Swipe to start. That is just actually going to knock out Indeedee. Fantastic. I don't think Icy Wind KOs Venu, but maybe puts it in KO range from Life Orb. Ah, we missed though. Okay. I feel like Feeny has been the most unreliable Pokemon we've used lately, which is kind of funny. They go into Charizard. So they know I have Shadow Sneak. I think here I like switching out into Incineroar and protecting Giratina. Because I could see them protecting Charizard and Sludge Bombing Giratina, and then by switching Feeny back in, I'll have Terrain Control in the next turn. Shadow Sneak should KO either of these Pokemon right now. And Giratina is going to be really good against Groudon in the late game. So, like, yeah, that last turn, if we hit the Icy Wind, maybe it becomes single target, and Venu's, like, has Life Orb, so maybe the single target damage plus the Life Orb is enough for a KO. They could read into the switch in here. Okay, they don't protect Charizard. It's okay. It's going to be Sludge Bomb onto the Feeny slot. That's okay. And they get a Poison. Not great. There's Life Orb. And then they just Air Slash into Giratina. Okay, well, now my Berry activates at least. You take Solar Power as well. Here it's really safe to just fake out Venusaur and Shadow Sneak into Charizard. Oh, no, I can't fake out with Terrain being up. Never mind. Alright, I'm down to switch into Feeny here. Or actually, no, I could... I can't Shadow Sneak unless I, change the terrain here. Alright, I'm going to switch into Feeny here and sneak into Venu. I think we should survive an Air Slash on Giratina. Charizard's very close to fainting from the Solar Power as well. Curious how fast their Groudon is. Okay, get Feeny in. See if they protect. No protect on either. Okay. That's a little frustrating because it feels like I could have just ended the game if I had targeted Charizard last turn, but I don't know. I feel like trying to scout out for a Sleep Powder is a fair assumption there. Okay, Giratina hangs on. Sunlight fades, so that makes things a little bit awkward, actually. The problem is everything is so low on my end right now. I'll bring Groudon back out. I want a Nature's Madness Groudon here and protect Giratina, I think. If I get that off, then I'm a Fake Out plus Shadow Force away from winning the game. Maybe they target Feeny here, but even if they do, it's okay, I think. Wow, this is actually really close. Okay. Nice. Okay, that's great. Let's see if Groudon outspeeds Feeny here. Nice, and we get Nature's Madness off. That is super, super good for us. Okay, great. And they just go for Rock Slide. Okay, that's like the best case scenario here. Because now, I was actually really nervous about them missing there. But yeah, this should give us a free switching back into Incineroar. Which means now I can just fake out Charizard. You faint from Solar Power. Yeah. So we're always going to click Fake Out here into the Charizard slot. And then just go for Shadow Force onto Groudon. So their Groudon being a little bit slower here definitely benefited us. I think if we hit that Icy Wind, things would have been a little bit easier because Venusaur would have had one less turn to play with. But yeah. Also, we still have this defense boost, which is nice, and they're at -1. So yeah, we're just going to Fake Out here, and I'm pretty sure +1 Shadow Force here should KO the Groudon. Yeah, Misty Terrain is up, so Fake Out. Like, Charizard is fainting this turn either from Fake Out or the Sun. Nice. So that's out of the way. Yep, and we're just faster with Giratina here. They probably Precipice Blades. Oh, they actually go for Rock Slide, okay. So that even gives me extra turn. Actually, that like ensures the win now, right? Because like you can't KO both of my Pokemon, so even if somehow they survive Shadow Force. Well, actually, Rock Slide might still KO Giratina, but I don't know. They're at -1 and I have a defense boost, so I'm not sure. Either way, we'll just Flare Blitz now. This team is amazing, I have to say. Like, I knew it would be strong, but I'm just so impressed by it. Yeah, and that's a KO. Beautiful. So that coaching boost in the beginning really gave us a nice early advantage, right? And maybe it is Water Urshifu on their team in the end. Or maybe they just didn't feel comfortable with Dark Urshifu. But either way, they didn't have super effective damage into Giratina, so we were able to really use that towards our advantage, which was super, super sweet. So, yeah. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've gone up against Venu and Charizard. So, yeah. Ultimately, like, you could see, like, Giratina was just really strong because they didn't really have any Dragon Resist. So it's like, after a coaching boost, the fact that Spread Breaking Swipe not only will decrease your opponent's attack, but also deal, like, 50% of damage into something like Charizard is super, super nice. So, awesome first game here for us. Alright, next game of the day, and it's up against a really high-ranked opponent with Xerneas. Okay, so this is where Stack Attack finally gets to shine a little bit more. Giratina's really bad into Stack, honestly. Or sorry, into Xerneas. So much to the point where we honestly might not even bring Giratina here. I know that's kind of awkward, but like, it's just so poor in Xerneas. Like, I feel like the right for our Feeny instant stack Amoonguss. And the goggles from stack is what we really need to leverage here. Feeny can Nature's Madness. They can fake out. I think I'm okay with an instant stack lead. Amoonguss and Feeny in the back. I don't want to lead Feeny because then I set up Misty Terrain, really reducing Amoonguss' effectiveness. I could lead Amoonguss here, but they have a Volk as well as a Moltres, which makes me nervous. Like, this is just a pretty safe lead. You know, I can fake out Trick Room. And so, yeah, this is an example of a matchup where, like, it just doesn't make... Our restricted is just so bad into Xerneas, unfortunately. But the team is designed in a way that the non-restricteds that we're bringing are pretty good into Xerneas. So, even though we're not bringing our restricted, it's actually better to do so than drop any of those for Xerneas. Or, sorry, for Giratina. The best one you could probably drop is, like, Feeny. Because, like, Instant Stack and Amoonguss, I feel like, are all very essential here. Okay, so let's see. They go with Aleki plus Volk. Alright, I mean, that's not bad at all. I feel like because we have safety goggles, this is super good for us. Like, turn 1? What's stopping me from just clicking Fake Out and Trick Room? Because if you have these two, you obviously have Xerneas. I would guess they have Hitmontop over Amoonguss as their fourth. Honestly, if they have Amoonguss, like, they're in a lot of trouble this game because we have goggles on stack. Alright, so I'm just going to fake out Trick Room here. Fake out to break a potential Sash on Aleki. Hitmontop coming in here would make sense? Yeah, that's Hitmontop. Okay. So they didn't bring Amoonguss, which makes sense, but that means I have more room to play with under Trick Room. And it's going to be really difficult for them to easily Geomancy in this game, as you can see. Like, I'm going to have Trick Room up, so they're not going to get Xerneas out anytime soon. If we knock out Hitmontop, we honestly should win this game, so that's where the priority should be right now. Could see them going for close combat into stack. Honestly, I think we switch stack out because that's our single-handedly our win condition in the late game. I guess the only awkward thing is I don't want, like... Oh, Amoonguss as a switch in here is nice. Oh, you know what we can do? Is Parting Shot Hitmontop and then switch stack out into Amoonguss. I guess the only issue here, like, if Hitmontop close combat in here seems likely, and maybe they actually click close combat into the instant slot. So maybe I do switch Feeny in. Oh, they go for the bait. I like that play a lot on there, and okay. But because I went for Parting Shot, like, this is fine. Yeah, now this is great. Earlier I was nervous about Parting Shotting and going back out into Stack Attack if they stayed in with Hitmontop. But the thing is now, I get to bring Stack Attack in, and you'll probably Volt Switch out. Volt Switch is going to hurt, but I think we have to bring Stack right now, because if I bring Feeny, I don't have Spore Pressure for the remainder of the game. Or not the remainder of the game, but at least the next 5 turns, because of Misty Terrain. They actually T-Bolt. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we've managed to get into a pretty good game state. Their goal is to stall a Trick Room right now. I can't freely Spore necessarily because they could easily switch into Volcarona. So if I'm my opponent, I'm probably... Okay, I think we Rock Slide, yeah, to cover, or, oh, we don't have Rock Slide, we have Stone Edge instead. Makes things a little bit more difficult. Question is who to Stone Edge. I went Spore, Xern, Stone Edge, Aleki, but yeah, it's Xern, let's switch this out. That's probably Volt coming in. Oh, they bring him on top. Okay, that's really good. There's a chance this thing is Goggles, though. If it's Goggles, this game just got a lot harder. Okay, that Protect is fine. Just getting a single Spore to start right now is really good. So the big question is whether or not you're Goggles right now. Okay, they're not Goggles. That is very, very, very good. Okay. Now the priority here for me really is to KO Hitmontop sooner than later, so I almost want to just Body Press and Grass Knot it. But we do have a free turn here. Like Stone Edge into Aleki and Spore into this covers for any option they can go for right now. So I'm down to go for that. If you switch into Xerneas, you get put to sleep. If you stay in, okay, they're just gonna stay in. You also get put to sleep. Huge damage. I was thinking of Grass Knotting there for a KO, but like, you know, Amoonguss is just so strong in this position right now. Great. So they take one turn of guaranteed sleep with both Pokemon, so they can wake up potentially immediately this next turn. So that's one thing to watch out for. And even though we've built up a really strong lead, my opponent can easily win this game because there's only one more turn to Trick Room right now. Getting a defense boost on stack's actually really valuable if we can get it. I think they give up Aleki here, so I'm going to Body Press the Aleki. I'm mainly just thinking, like, how do I get another Trick Room up in this game? I think here I don't mind Body Press Aleki and Rage Powder. Because even if you get one turn Wake Ups with both, and they don't get the Protect off with Aleki. So that's really good because that gives us a defense boost. And that means handling this Hitmontop is going to be way easier. And the Rage Powder there was just because I don't want to risk a close combat into stack right now. Yeah, I knew I was going to get a defense boost there, but like, is it really worth it? And we have Rocky Helmet on Amoonguss, so close combat here just, you know, makes you take more damage, and we actually get pretty lucky and get, actually, I'd prefer Hitmontop to wake up there, honestly, because I wanted to take Rocky Helmet damage. It's like, yeah, you have to bring out Volk right now. Now I can just Trick Room again, right? And Amoonguss has done his job at this point in the game, especially because we already stacked a defense boost onto Stack Attacka. So, like, I'm willing to just Trick Room here, and go for Rage Powder. Because at this point, Feeny is more valuable for me in this game. Like, I can finally bring Feeny out because Amoonguss has stalled out the game long enough where I can get 2 Trick Rooms up. 2 Trick Rooms up, yeah. I was going to say 2 Trick Room ups. Okay, they actually Fire Dance stack, which I'm fine with. Hitmontop stays asleep for a 3rd turn. See, like, a Wake Up there is actually better for us because you're not really doing much with Hitmontop, and then I can guarantee Spore you the subsequent turn, but it's still fine. Like, Hitmontop's just in such a bad spot right now. I'm willing to just play it safe here in Stone Edge Volcarona and Rage Powder once again. All I have to do is protect the Stack Attacka now at this point in the game. Okay, they switch Hitmontop out. But that's fine, right? What's Volcarona doing? If you're not protecting, I guess they're maybe hoping for a miss right now with Stone Edge, which I think is a fair thing to play towards. But they go for Protect, okay. Because the thing is, now I get a free Spore off onto the Xern slot this next turn. Yeah, I think my opponent's banking off a miss right now, which is honestly a fair thing to play towards. If I actually miss with Stack and they Fiery Dance me, this is a completely different game all of a sudden. So that makes me a little bit scared. I'm also running out of Stone Edge PP. But yep, I'm just going to Stone Edge and Spore here. They switch Volk out. Okay. That works for me. I mean, I see what they're going for, because now you can Fake Out plus Geomancy, but I can just put the Xerneas to sleep, right? Or I guess you could Fake Out the Amoonguss. Yeah, I mean, you have to fake out Amoonguss here, I guess. But then you'd still take a Gyro Ball. But then you should survive, and there are only 2 turns of Trick Room left. Okay. They actually maneuver that really well. I feel like I shouldn't have let Xerneas get to come in for free. But it's okay, like... Even though they'll get Geomancy up right now, you still can't do that much damage to Amoonguss with either Pokemon. The only scary thing here is our Stone Edge PP is not maxed. So, I only actually have one more opportunity to get a Stone Edge off into Volk, which is actually really scary. Yeah, so there's the Fake Out into Amoonguss. There's the Rocky Helmet activation. This is why I wanted Hitmontop to wake up earlier. This is one in which the 3-turn sleep actually worked pretty against us. Great damage from Gyro Ball. We actually would have just KO'd if we're at -1 rather than 2. So they'll get Geomancy off. Your play this next turn is to switch Hitmontop out into Volk. I mean, you have to protect Xerneas this next turn. Right? You've got to protect Xern. This is just a little bit scary because it is my last Stone Edge PP, but I do think Hitmontop should switch out into Volk here as you protect Xern. So I'm going to Spore and Stone Edge that slot. If they don't switch out, I Spore to cover for it anyway. They also might just be like, hey, I'm so far behind in this game, I'm just going to attack with Xerneas. There's the switch. Nice. And the good thing is Stack moves first, right? So it's like, even if Xern doesn't protect, if we hit Stone Edge, it gets redirected anyway. But yeah, they protect. Oh, I just hope we hit the Stone Edge. This is actually such a critical turn. Okay, nice. I would assume this KOs, but... Oh, they hang on. And that was Goggles. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if Grass Knot would have KO'd there. Ah, okay. I mean, Dazzling plus Fiery Dance here makes sense, but I don't think you can pick up a double KO here, right? Like, I am willing to just Trick Room here and Spore here. I don't think +2 Moonblast KO stack from this range. Okay, and they Dazzle. Perfect. Nice. So it's like you only knock out one of the 2 in this position. There's Fiery Dance into stack, yeah. But now I just put your Xerneas to sleep. Cool. Yeah, I was really expecting Stone Edge to get the knockout there. They played the game really well, though, to position themselves to get the boost off with Xerneas. Okay, now I bring in Incin. Flare Blitz should just KO the Xerneas. Feeny as the last one is really good for us in this late game, too. So Flare Blitz here is really safe. We just have to play assuming they get a 1-turn wake. But if Flare Blitz KOs, then Feeny wins the endgame. If Volk switches out into Hitmontop, I would think Flare Blitz plus Grass Knot's enough here. And we know Xerneas can't protect this turn. Or they could just Rage Powder. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I honestly didn't consider the Rage Powder option, but I don't think I have counterplay to that anyway in this position. This is going to be really close. Let's see how much not +2, just Grass Knot does here. Oh, another one should KO. Okay, nice. So now we can just Flare Blitz and Grass Knot Xern, I think. No, they could get a 1-turn wake and then close combat with Hitmontop. Sorry, protect Xern, close combat with Hitmontop. If they get the 1-turn wake, you can't pick up a double KO here, can you? Even if you do, I would think Incin would Flare Blitz first. Okay, so I am willing to just Flare Blitz and Grass Knot here, I think. Alright, they fake out, that's fine. And they stay asleep. Okay, nice. Oh. Honestly, though, like, my opponent played super well to get themselves out of, like, what I think was a really tough matchup for them, considering I didn't... Yeah. Like, we have very good anti-Xerneas stuff, especially with the Goggles on the stack. Cool. Now we can just go for Parting Shot and Rage Powder. And then Feeny just wins. Yeah, this was an interesting one, though, because I think, like, if Hitmontop actually woke up in, like, took a 1-turn sleep or a 2-turn sleep, we would have just been able to put that sleep and put that back to sleep again and completely negate it. But the key thing here is we got 2 Trick Rooms up in this game, and it was going to be really difficult for my opponent to win with 2 Trick Rooms going up. But honestly, I mean, if Xern gets that wake up there, you just Moonblast the Amoonguss, right? And then it would be AV Feeny plus Instant against the Hitmontop and the Xerneas. And I think Feeny could maybe close it off because of AV, because Hitmontop probably has no damage into the Feeny. So, like, we didn't even bring out Feeny there, and I was, like, really confident with Feeny in the matchup. But, yeah, like, the fact that it even came down to, like, my opponent brought it to a position where I didn't necessarily need the 2-turn sleep, but, like, yeah, I feel like they played really well for how shaky the matchup is, and, like, the couple of switches that they made in the late game was really nice. And yeah, I honestly thought Volk would faint to that Stone Edge, so it surviving was pretty impressive. But that was a really interesting one where it's like neither of our restricteds actually really did too much. But the thing about Xerneas is you always have to respect it. So yeah. All right, let's look for another one. All right, next match here. I think this is the highest rating we've gotten in a while, so pretty cool to get up here, especially with this Giratina team. You know, once again, like I expected this team to be strong, but to have an undefeated streak with it is definitely surprising to me, but it's just fun because it's such a different playstyle from anything that we've used so far, and I really like it. It's just so much bulkier than any restricted, right? And so yeah, I'm just very thoroughly impressed by it. So we're up against Zacian here. I really don't like this matchup, especially if they play rough on the Zacian. The tricky thing is because, like, I want Instant, but then they have Galarian Zapdos to counter it. I want Amoonguss, but they have Indeedee to counter it. It's like maybe we go the Trick Room route. Giratina going for Breaking Swipe here is also, like, a little ambitious. And they have a Whimsicott. It's, like, so much to the point where I almost think about not bringing Giratina, but, I don't know about that. How do I even beat, like, Zapdos plus Zacian as a lead from there? And that in itself is really scary. Maybe I do go the Trick Room route. I struggle to find a good lead here outside of Trick Room. Maybe if I had some more time I could have found one, but I can't go like Zapdos Giratina. I can't lead Instant at all with confidence in this one. That's the main issue, because they have Galarian Zapdos, and if I just activate Define on that thing just gets out of control way too quickly. So yeah, I don't see a good answer here. Yeah, and they go Whimsicott Zapdos. Okay, you know what? That is fine. Is it fine? I mean, you would think Whimsicott is Taunt. Let's assume it has Taunt. Brave Bird onto the Amoonguss slot, Taunt onto the stack attack up slot makes a lot of sense right now. I don't know if we survive a Brave Bird. I mean, this is such a bad matchup that I think I have to just kind of YOLO the Trick Room. If I don't get it and they have Taunt, like, so be it, but I'm just going to Trick Room Manspore here, honestly. Do they have their own Trick Room with Whimsicott? Oh, Amoonguss survives, though. That actually changes everything. Oh my goodness, look how much recoil that is, too. Huh. So they do have Trick Room with Whimsicott, but you know what? I don't mind that because Amoonguss somehow survived that turn. That's huge. Which is so close to click. If I just Gyro Ball there, they're actually in such bad shape. But that's fine. I don't... Like, the fact that Amoonguss survived is so clutch. It literally changes everything. Now we can pivot Amoonguss out into Feeny. Amoonguss out into Feeny. I do want to just click Trick Room again, honestly. Oh, wait, I don't have Feeny. What am I saying? Amoonguss out into Giratina. I mean, I could go for the knockout onto Zapdos here. Okay, I'm honestly down because, like, Whimsicott doesn't threaten me with anything else right now. by doing this, we get Regenerator, and I now can bring in Instant to intimidate the Zacian. And if they actually get greedy and try to double Trick Room again, or sorry, just reverse Trick Room, they had Taunt. Why not just Taunt on turn 1 then? I don't understand that. I feel like it's so risky, because I guess it covers for Mentorb Stack Attacka, but like if you were expecting me to Trick Room, why not just Taunt to stop it rather than... I mean, I guess you get an extra turn this way. Okay, I mean, now you bring out Zacian. So with Zacian out, I think we double... Oh, they don't. They bring out Landorus. Oh, that makes sense, because you have a free Earth Power into the stack slot. I don't have a switch in. We might honestly have to give up Stack Attacker here, which stinks. I could see them subbing. No, you should always Earth Power stack here. I just... Man, if I actually Gyro Ball turn 1, yeah. I'm really confused at why they didn't just go for Taunt. It was really risky, but it pays off for them. Okay. I went for Shadow Force this turn. It might have been better to sneak first. They switch Whim out. Oh, actually, this works out really well then. Okay. Yeah, I'm just struggling to deal damage in this late game. Yeah, there's Earth Power. Should one-shot us. So now I get a free switch in, but the thing is, I am so weak to Earth Power at this moment in the game. I can bring in Amoonguss and just like... I guess I could bring it out and protect with it. It's just whether or not Shadow Force and the Sneak would KO the... If I bring an Instant, I can Fake Out, but I feel forced to Fake Out Landorus. Alright, I think we have to bring Instant out here. It's also a question of their Zacian set. Are you sub Swords Dance or neither? Unfortunately, regardless of what the Zacian set they are, I feel like it's not easy for us, but... Yeah, I do think I have to just Fake Out Lando here. They might... The right play for them would be to switch out Lando into Whimsicott. Yeah, they made it. Okay, well done. Zacian protects those, so that's actually pretty good for us. We actually don't want to knock out Whimsicott right now, ideally. So I hope it survives this. Oh, it might be a KO. That's one of the times where we don't want to get a knockout. Okay, because the problem is this gives my opponent a free switch in back out into Lando now. Maybe it's okay. Because I can now pivot Instant out into Amoonguss. And just go for another Shadow Force onto Lando. Then bring in Instant, Fake Out Lando on the Shadow Force turn, then Shadow Sneak. But the problem is, I need a Flare Blitz into Zacian to win this one. And they have Play Rough. Yeah, that's going to be GG, I think. Unless Shadow Force one-shots Landorus. Actually, if Shadow Force one-shots, we would win. Well, I guess it's Fake Out plus Shadow Force. No, this is still winnable. But man, you can see how strong Play Rough Zacian is, right? And that's becoming a lot more meta now. Like, at this point when I see Zacian, I do assume it has it. Okay. I think here I just have to Fake Out plus Shadow Force the land. It's just like, if Lando protects here to bypass at least the Fake Out, I would get a Flare Blitz off into Zacian. That alone might be enough to win the game. Because I would assume whatever fighting type attack Zacian has is gonna 2-hit KO Instant here anyway. Even with Berry and then being at -1. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I think I'm just going to fake out Landorus here. Let's see. Oh! Okay. The fact they're play roughing there makes me think they don't have a fighting type attack, but it also my voice just cracked. But it makes me think, okay, let's see. Shadow Force. Oh. Does Shadow Sneak do enough? It's really close, but I think they hang on with just the Sliver. Okay. Man, that is close. That is really close, but I think they're going to hang on with like about 5 to 10 HP or so. That was how close we were to winning this game. Oh. Unless they didn't... No, actually, like, even if they Rock Slide, you can just Earth Power next turn. That is so unbelievably close. That's a heartbreaker. GG. GG. Yeah, like, turn 1, it's so funny because I was expecting the taunt, too, so I could have just Gyro Balled, and, like, they would have ended up just setting up Trick Room, and I don't think they can win the game from there. So it's like, we actually almost could have won the game on turn 1, but yeah, they also could have just taunted us rather than going for Trick Room immediately. I guess, like, them going for the hard Trick Room does cover for Mental Orb. Like, that's the reason you go for that over taunt. It's a really high-risk play, but also, it's maybe not that risky because, like, not many people would expect, like, I didn't expect Whimsicott to have Trick Room in that position, right? But it almost made me think they didn't have taunt, so the fact they had taunt and Trick Room is really interesting. You know, that was super close, right? Because if we get the Shadow Sneak off there, then it's Zacian plus Instant 1v1. Now, there's actually a chance that they didn't go for a fighting type attack and they went for Play Rough first to intentionally not activate a berry. So if that's the case, then like Play Rough, even Shadow Sneak KOs Lando, the Zacian then KOs my Giratina. Instant gets a Flare Blitz off, but probably doesn't KO the Zacian. That activates our berry. We heal back up, and then it's a question of whether or not a -1 close combat or Sacred Sword would do enough to instant post Flare Blitz berry, assuming they did have it. But when you see Play Rough, more often than not, it is often like Swords Dance, Play Rough, Behemoth Blade, and Protect. So yeah, I can't be upset about that though. Like I feel like my opponent, like that the Lando switch into Whimsicott, they made the right call there. I'm just impressed by the Lando's bulk. Like, the fact it took a Fake Out plus Shadow Force plus Shadow Sneak is pretty impressive. But Lando was just a big issue for us because, as you could see, by not bringing Zapdos in this game, I didn't have a switch into Earth Power as soon as Giratina is out on the field. And so it left me exposed because as soon as Landorus hit the field and Stack was taunted, then I basically had to sacrifice something that turn. And I think Stack was the right Pokemon to give up because Instant and Amoonguss were more crucial, and we were basically like, you know, 5 HP away from potentially winning that one. But yeah, they played really well. And I think like Team Preview was not super easy for us in that one. It actually ended up working out okay in terms of the Pokemon they brought. But if I were to replay it, I'd probably consider bringing Galarian Zapdos instead over the... Maybe over Stack Attack. It's still hard. Like, yeah, it's just... I guess I couldn't cover for Taunt, Whimsicott, and Galarian Zapdos lead. So that was actually a really good lead by them because they covered any Stack Attack or Trick Room stuff I could go for. Giratina could have, like, maybe worked there, but nah. I feel like Amoonguss plus Feeny, Amoonguss Giratina, something like that maybe, but yeah. Either way, that was a really, really fun game, and, like, in yesterday's episode, was it yesterday's? Whichever one where we literally won by hitting with 1 HP on Zacian and then dodging a Precipice Blade. It's like, we've gotten a lot of good rolls in our favor recently, so can't complain about something like that. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much to Dragonair Jordan for the team. I really had a blast with this one. And yeah, ultimately we had a really, really good run with it. Went up against all kinds of different restricteds and different matchups. Trying to think if we actually went up against Calyrex Shadow Rider. Because this team, like the Giratina is designed to one-shot Calyrex Shadow Rider. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. Obviously not today, but I don't think we did yesterday. Either way, though, we went up against a lot of cool matchups. And yeah, hopefully this proves that you can use Giratina O at a very high level. And this is a really interesting set. I think if I were to adjust the team, I think AB Feeney's really good, but I think like Heal Pulse Feeny with Nature's Madness would be really interesting. And then having Pollen Puff and Amoonguss would also be really interesting. Because that way you have 2 ways to potentially heal the Giratina, basically allowing it to tank all these hits, give it a single coaching boost, let it take these hits, and then heal back with Feeny and Amoonguss. So personally, if I were adjusting the team, those are some things that I would just look at. Not saying those are the right decisions, but I think they're fun considerations that you may want to think about. So yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Dragonair Jordan. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to answer the question of the day, and I'll see you all soon. All right. Peace.